Group formation. How are the groups formed? Also, how are the groups formed are sometimes disintegrated. Usually, it is the common features of the people who make a group. When they find that there are common features amongst them, they form a group. What are the common features amongst those people who form a group? Same language. Language is the first and the foremost thing which has to be similar in order to form a group. Similar economic and social status. Also, sometimes groups are formed because of similar economic and social status. That means there is a possibility that the language is not the same in this group, but their social and economic status is the same. And that is why they can interact with one another. However, there would be a difficulty of language in that group, but maybe they can overcome it by using a language which is common for all. But this can also be a reason of group formation, that because they are facing the same issues in that particular economic state and social state, therefore they make their own group. Common goals and common interests. Also, groups are formed because of common goals and common interests. Like, for example, you have a cricket club in the society. So, all the members of that cricket club have the same goal and the same interest. The goal is that they want to become good cricketers and they want to pass their time playing cricket, and also their interest is that they should play cricket. Similarly, girls can have their own interests, like having a stitching club in the society, or having a home economics club in the society where they learn how to cook and how to decorate the house. And that could form one group because of their interests and their goals to become better domestic women in order to carry on with their household chores. Also, some groups are formed because of similar family structure. That means people who are all married and having young children may like to have one group formed. Those families having elder children would have another group, because the issues that they are facing having elder children would be not understood by families who are having younger children, because the issues the families are facing with younger children would be totally different from the families having elder children. So there are different reasons of these group formations. Now, it is not necessary that once these groups are formed, nobody can come out of these groups. That is disintegration of groups. It does take place sometimes. Sometimes it happens that there is a group, and then there are certain things that happen which forces some of the members to leave the group and join the other group. There is no harm in that, because again, that is called growth. That is the growth in the minds and the spirit, and also physically. Some people, they find that it is difficult to now go on with the same group because their physical needs are more. They want to have something more. Maybe they were playing cricket, but now they want to go for hockey. So maybe they can change the group and go for the hockey group. Also, there can be chances where people want to look for more opportunities, or people want to see the group they are in to be more prosperous or to be more moving fast. So they can always leave that group and go to another group. This disintegration of groups should not be taken as a conflict or as a negative activity, because all these lead to learning. And people who are leaving and people who are not leaving, all those members are going to learn something out of it. They are going to have a sort of a lesson in that leaving or staying. So, in any case, even there is a conflict and some people want to leave the group, they should be encouraged to do that with harmony and tolerance for the further growth of the groups. Priorities and opinions. Some groups are formed because of the priorities and opinions people have, having similar point of views on social, religious issues. So some groups will only be formed because they have a certain opinion and direction towards social issues and religious issues. The mindset for same priorities in life, for example, children's education, accumulation of wealth, etc. The priorities in some groups would be just the same, and therefore they meet and they form a group. The examples could be some people are just looking for opportunities for their children's education. So they would be all sitting together and discussing how to get good education, and thus they will form a group. Then there can be another group who could be related to business in the town, and they want to talk about how to accumulate wealth, how to be successful in business, and how to make more money. So this group can, because they are having this priority and because they are having similar opinions in their lives, so they get together and they form a group. It is a good activity to form a group because when you are in a group in which you have people with similar opinions, similar priorities, then it is a time for you to relax and express your opinions. This takes out the frustration in you because you want to say something in your life. As man is a social animal, he likes to share his opinions and priorities with other people. So it becomes easy when the other people are also thinking like you. But that does not mean that if there is a person in the group who does not have the same priority or who does not any longer thinks the way you are thinking, maybe his development of mind has changed and his direction has gone in another direction, it is not necessary that that person should be ignored or rejected. Even then, so much can be learned from the person who is having a different opinion. But usually, people like to stay in the same group where their priorities and their preferences are the same and they think alike. And that is why most of the time we come across groups in which we find that the interests are the same. There are some groups which like to talk about politics and the current situation in the country. They should be allowed to do that as well because that is the way they can talk, and by discussions they can probably find out ways to make themselves happy and then also get information from other people in order to make their lives easy. All these groups are actually working on opinions, points of view, and priorities. So, what do we really need for that? The basic ingredient that we need for all this is tolerance, acceptance. So, we accept other people's ideas and we tolerate their priorities. We accept what they want in their life. It is not necessary that what we want in our lives should be the priority of the other person also. So basically, with all these cultural attributes, what is important is that the teachers need to inculcate all these habits in the students in the classroom. They should make their students aware that in a group they have to give importance to each and every member of the group. They should avoid bullying any member of the group. They should avoid neglecting anyone's opinion, and they should avoid rejecting anyone's priorities. From the very beginning, if the children are given this training in schools by the teachers and the school staff, and of course supported by the parents and the community, then we are going to have a healthy community and a healthy society in our country where there is a lot of acceptance and tolerance amongst young people as well as the old. Types of groups. Primary groups. Primary groups are based on family, and friends. These groups are the ones which are formed while people are thinking and expressing opinions in the family or friends. So some friends get together and they think this is the group they would like to make because they have a similar opinion or they have a similar priority in life. Therefore, they can form this group. More professional groups would be formed as secondary groups. Those professional groups would be from workplace, from professions, or from an organization. So it is possible that doctors all over the city, they form a certain group. And it is also possible that doctors in one hospital, they form their own group according to the workplace environment. And it is also possible that some organizations which may be in different cities would form one group having members from different cities because they would like to have the input from all over the country. So in any case, the secondary groups would seem to be more professional. Having said that, it does not mean that the family or the friends groups, which would be the primary groups, would not be professional or they cannot be professional. Of course, they can be professional. It is up to them if they want to make it a very professional group. But why we are calling it a primary group? Because it is formed by the members of the family or friends. It is not requiring any location or any organization or any profession. It is open to family and friends. So there is no restriction of profession or workplace or location or an organizational name. It is like more free and people have more access to the family and friends groups. It does not mean that these groups cannot work more than the professional groups. Probably it is possible that they would be able to make more beneficial decisions because they are family and friends, and they would be having more tolerance towards each other. The good example that we can give in the Pakistani context is that there are some families in Pakistan who have formed a group in order to have schools adopted in different cities, and they are looking after those schools. Sometimes they are contributing as teachers without any salary in those schools. Sometimes they are just contributing books or making a library or providing some other thing to the school in order to make it work better. That is one example of families working together as a group in Pakistan in order to make the condition of the schools which have less privileges and less income group, the families are providing them with funds and utilities. There are also some groups of friends who are in Pakistan working on issues like literacy. And they have formed some groups in which they just take out some time from their professions or their work or their job and then visit places where there is no literacy at all and people are facing the problem that they cannot even write their name. So these groups, as friends, they go to such places and then they work for such people who are less privileged and who are totally illiterate and then work on such projects as literacy projects. Secondary groups examples we find in industries, organizations, professions, workplace, such as there are groups of doctors having uh, formed their own groups. They go to places where natural disasters take place and they try to help people in all respects, financially or providing them medical aid or treating those patients who are sick due to the natural disasters.